Hey gang, Jason here, the House of Jacobs Gaming, and I know it's been a while, but we are back doing reviews. Today I want to review something that I got for basically just keeping everything charged. Lately we've gone to using an Apple Watch now to capture my heart rate, and now I have these AirPods and an Apple phone, but all of these cords all over the place. So my wife had recently upgraded to all that stuff before I did. We got her this Scosche, I don't know if it's being pronounced properly, base 3-in-1 charger for her phone and stuff. Wanted to make sure it was all wireless. Kind of expensive though, but we did pick it up at Staples for about 100-ish. It was on sale. So I wanted to see if there was another option out there that gives the same type of charging capabilities, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Everything's still being wireless. I don't want to have to like take my cords and plug them in and have plugs and stuff. I want it to all be wireless charging. I want to see if there's a cheaper option. And I found what's called the SOWINK. As you can see, there's no name. SOWINK 4-in-1 charger. How does it compare to something that is literally twice the price? Well, we're going to open this up, see what comes inside, and then kind of see how it does compare. All right, I cleaned off my desk so we can do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up and see what's inside. I haven't opened it up yet. I haven't even looked, so we're all going to see this together. So it's a fairly just simple black. That's what I wanted to, was black. Very simple black charging station. Like everything will just lay on top of it, right? It comes with a plug, as you would expect, and it comes with a USB-C charging cord. That's about it. That's all it's really in here. It's not a lot. It does have its instructions right here. So it appears that it will charge the headphones. Oh, let's see. Here's the charging right here. It looks like the watch is 3 watt. The earphones is 3 watt. The phone is 15 watt. And this other phone is 10 watt. And it has power lights along the bottom. One light for each of them, it looks like, along this thing here. All right, so just for a size comparison, this is my wife's. This is the more expensive $120-ish one. And this is the SOWINK that I'm doing right now. So this is very simple design. Has a spot for your headphones. Your watch magnetically connects here, and a spot for the phone. Now your watch will lay up here. I'm assuming this is magnetic as well. What I did notice on the back of this is it has these perforations here. And I'm assuming that is to help dissipate heat as your phone is laid up against this and charging. So that's pretty interesting. But let's see how these two compare when it comes to the charging ports. Now, again, this has one extra spot for a phone. I have a work phone that I'll be laying here, and it won't charge as fast because this is 10, this is 15 watt. But I did want to look at the differences of them on the websites. I got this one off Amazon, and I'll put that link below if you want to try for yourself. And I got this one at the Staples when we went to get some paperwork done. All right, let's go to the display here. So as you can see, this is the SOWINK 4-in-1 charger. Again, really not name brand, but it is only listed at $47.48 right now. Outside of that, it says that it doesn't only just charge iPhones, it does charge Samsungs, specifically charges Apple Watches at 2.5 and AirPods at 3 watts. So that it'll actually do Samsung earbuds too. I've found that my wife's, this one here, only does Apple. So that's probably why it's a little bit more expensive. Outside of that, if you're looking for what the wattages are, they are right here. It says 7.5, which is weird because I believe that it said on the instructions that it'll go up to 15. So with that being said, I'm assuming that it actually probably goes higher, but you're probably looking at a 7.5 at the very minimum. The Apple Watch is at 2.5, and this is at a 3. So let's switch over to this. This is the fancy one, right? The wireless charging dock, base 3-in-1. So this is only 3-in-1. right? It's compatible with iPhones 8 or later, just like the other one. It does say absolutely nothing about Samsung's or any other type of devices. So it looks like this is just a certified for Apple Watches and Apple products. And if that's the case, that's probably why it's more expensive. So outside of that, the wireless output for this smartphone is 5, 7.5, or 10, which we saw the same thing on ours, except ours, the low end was 7.5. This AirPods is 2.5, and the Apple Watch is 2.5. So it really is fairly comparable. The setup would look something like this. My wife ended up with a white one, and there are black ones available. This is just their website here. I'm just kind of trying to compare a more non-noticed, non-name brand to something that would be more name brand that you would find in the stores. This is the #1 mounting brand in USA and Canada, apparently. So, that being said, I'm going to run down my headsets, run down my watch, and run down my phone and see which one charges it faster if it's comparable. I've already tested out my watch on this, and we're going to have to do the same with the headphones and the phones. So it's going to take quite a bit of time. You're looking at like 10, 18, a couple days to get all the testing done. But once it's all done, we'll come back and see what we have. All right, so it's been a couple weeks. I've killed my headsets a couple times, my watches, all my phones all the way down to 0, and I've tested on both the SOWINK and the more expensive version that my wife uses. So here's what I've come up with. When it comes to the watch, consistently I get about 2.5 hours to recharge the watch on this, right about 3 on this one. So the cheaper one is a little bit faster, but I'll tell you what, my watch is much hotter coming off of this. The phones charge at about hour and a half, 2 hours. It's really kind of difficult because phones are still trying to be used while they're doing it. So if someone's using a headset, wandering around while it's on the charger, still works, but it takes a little bit longer to recharge. And I'll tell you that this one here, again, slightly hotter, but also slightly faster. Maybe it takes an hour and maybe 15 minutes versus like the hour and a half, 2 hours on this. When it came to this platform down here that I use for my work phone, it does take a little bit longer. I believe this is like 15 watts, I said before, and this is like 10. So this does take longer to charge, right around that 2-hour mark, but not as hot. And when it came to the headsets, I will tell you, I did my dangdest to try and time that out, but it is so difficult to know when they stop charging. So it has light indicators here on this, and this is where I think the more fancy one kind of does it a little bit more. This has light indicators for each section. There's 4 different lights on here. You put it on here, it lights up to let you know that it has started charging, but then shuts off. Now, it doesn't mean it shuts off because it's done charging. It just means it shuts off, which is great for being next to your nightstand because then it doesn't have lights on all day and all night, and it is a big blue bright light. On this one, though, there is a little indicator here, see that I'm pointing to, and I believe it has 4 little tiny lights, and when you put stuff on here, it lights up. It does give you an error, like flashes when something isn't charging properly, and you have to reset it on here, but it turns off when the charging's done. So this light stays on, where these ones come on and then shut off. So there's a slight difference there. But I'll tell you what, this was 100 and change, and this was more like 45, 50. So for half the price, you get 2 phones, you get a watch, and back behind here, you get where your headset charges. And I'll tell you what, I was quite impressed with how this works. Unfortunately, if you have, like me, I have this nice thick rock form with a magnet. It will not work with this. And I will tell you, so you have to take your phone out and place it on here. You have to do something very similar with my wife's.
But if you have a very thin case, I believe it says up to 5 millimeters or something, and it doesn't have a magnet on it, you should be able to still charge on this. And I believe this one you have to have a slightly smaller case. So if those are things that are gonna make a difference for you, like you just don't want to take your phone out of a case to do it, you may end up having to go with a more expensive one and just look in the descriptions and see what the charging capabilities are. It does say in most descriptions that it says, hey, 5 millimeters or 8 millimeters or whatever. I'll tell you what, none of them are going to work with a magnetic thing. So if you have a magnetic case like I have here with this big old magnet on it, you ain't charging it on any of these, no matter what you do. So that's it. Please hit the like button, hit the sub button, share this with other people that might need to know, and we'll see you next time on House Jacobs Gaming.